Hi guys, we are live. This is our very first show called Bayways. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about everything and anything concerning youth. We're going to try to find the solutions. We're going to address the problems. Even if we do not find solutions, maybe at the end of the day, someone might grab something and solve it. I'm your beautiful host, of course, Takhatso Monekedi. I come from Bumalanga, but home is in Limpopo. I travel quite a lot, guys. And then what you're going to do, we're just going to talk about everything that comes into mind, everything that's troubling us as youth, any youth-related problem, we're going to address it. We have my other co-host, very beautiful and handsome and awesome as well. We have Happiness, we have Kenneth, we have Cecil, but they'll tell you all about themselves. Now we're just going to head over to Happiness so that she can tell us more about what we do.
Hi guys, this is Happiness. I'm also from Limpopo, like Takhatso. I'm currently in Gauteng. So yes, today it's everything about Bayways. It's our very first show, the launch show. So yes, we'll be talking about everything relating to African youth. So Bayways is an acronym for Bold African Youth. So Bayways is the online youth program that is operating under Bold Moves Radio. So Bold Moves Radio is an online radio that gives the platform to discuss issues pertinent to Africans in pursuit of finding solutions. So this specific program will be using it to discuss issues involving African youth. So that's all about it. I hope you're gonna have fun.
Of course, it's gonna be fun. Who wouldn't have fun with us as the co-host? So I am Takhatso, called Bundle of Joy because I'm always the youngest in whatever circle I'm in. So I'm Bundle of Joy. Fun fact about me, I love having fries with ice cream. If I don't have my fries with ice cream, they get boring. Happiness, can you tell us about yourself?
Okay, fun fact about me. The first one is that outside my career, I sell mokhodi for a living. It's my side business. So yes, guys, if you're craving mokhodu, I'm your girl.
And then we have Kenneth. Hi, Kenneth.
I'm okay, Takhatso. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Kenneth and I'm from Limpopo. Ke nna moshimane go tswa kwa Limpopo ga Sekhukhune magaeng mo go bitswang gore ke ga Phahla ke busha ke kgoshi Letsiri. Nna dilo tse ke di ratang ke gore nna ke rata go bina le ge ke sa kgone. But here we are going to have unfiltered conversations. It's just going to be good, guys. I hope you are excited because I'm also excited about this program. And I just want to say, bold moves, Kiona.
Thank you. Now I'm going to take you over to Mr. Cecil. Hi, Cecil. Where's
Cecil
Mr.
is still
Cecil?
making the pods. He's still making the pods.
Cicel's still making the pods. We need him now. Okay, guys. So we're gonna get you on now. I want to talk about how COVID interrupted us. Personally, I really hate COVID. I have something. If COVID was a person, I'd like to meet up with them and just punch them. Because COVID really interrupted my life. My life literally ended on a random day in March. Do you understand? It just like that, and then I had to be at home. I had to do that. What are other things that were interrupted in your lives besides school, besides work? How else has this pandemic affected you in any way?
Well, I hope our viewers are gonna interact with us because we are all affected at the end of the day. But I'm gonna talk about one thing, besides unemployment and all the other things that we know. It has affected our love lives. It did, because right now we are at a very critical stage, guys. We should be preparing for marriage and all of that. But now, since we are limited, we can't really go out and meet our soulmates. So that is one of the things that COVID took away from us.
That's true. That's true.
COVID has affected us a lot because your boy loves the streets, man. Like I literally love the streets. I always want to be on the street just to have fun and be with people, have like meaningful conversations and all that. But because of COVID, everything was on a standstill and we couldn't like interact with a lot of people. We had to use our phones and all those things, and that was just not my thing because me and my phone,
Yes.
And one other thing that I think this pandemic had taken from us is really our us time. Like, do you have a me time? I always have a me time, and now I was supposed to have a me time with other people in the house. The strain on the mental health,
yeah,
like,
that was
I
hard.
want to be alone. I love you guys, but I want to be alone. Do you understand? Like, that's one other thing that COVID did to me. Besides crippling the economy, besides the grief, besides any other thing, I think we were really forced to like spend time with ourselves and really introspect on everything that we've been doing, look back on what we did wrong, what we didn't do wrong, and probably one of us sunk into depression and anxieties were high up there, which really forced us to do our research on mental health as maybe Africans, because mental health is something that's really overlooked in Africa. Happiness?
Oh yes, there's a comment that came in right now. Before I get to the comment, what's this? On the irony, I think that me time, COVID gave it to me. Because I used to be out there all about and I never got the time for myself. So being in this whole lockdown restriction, I got time to be in my house alone, focusing on myself. So that's one of the things that's like a blessing in disguise. It gave me that. Yes. So there's a comment here. Corey, we need to mention what we're doing for a living. Okay,
Oh
I'll
my
start.
word.
I'll start.
Please start.
I'm the girl in Ufufa Umayene. I'm in aviation, guys. I'm just trying to touch on everything that is in aviation. So what I do, my full-time job, I'm an air traffic controller. I'm also a student pilot, so that's all about it. Oh yes, I do a lot of businesses on the side. I cook African food. So yes, if you're in Pretoria or Gauteng, please check your girl. We have a page on Instagram, Zanzi Silhouette. We're still trying to grow. Please text us, DM us. We deliver everything. Yes, thank you.
Kenneth?
Oh well, uh, what I'm currently busy with, I'm a medical orthotist and prosthetist intern in Boksburg in Gauteng province, and yeah, I am the founder of Can Health Footwear. So basically, what I do is that I sell comfort shoes for your grannies, your aunts, your nurses, everybody who's complaining about like pain and standing for long hours at work. The boy you can contact because like trust me with that. I've had like good reviews on those shoes. So they are quite affordable. So just hit me up if you are interested or you've had anybody complaining about pains and they want comfort shoes. So yeah, I'm the boy to contact.
I have painful legs. Do you maybe have size 3? No, you don't.
We can custom make them for you.
Okay, I do what Kenneth does, but unfortunately, I'm not running anything. I'm just a medical orthotist and prosthetist intern at Nelspruit Royal Hospital. So yeah, what we do, we correct body deformities, we make artificial limbs, your knee braces, your neck collars, your Tandomashangu's legs, we do those. So it's us there, it's our work there. So yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. So back to our COVID thing. With regards to the vaccine, like, do you remember how we were complaining that the vaccine rollout is taking a very long time? So they took their time. I remember there was this time when they brought their AstraZeneca. Was that it? The AstraZeneca thing that was expiring in a few days or something.
Mm.
And we were so angry that why would they bring something that's so yeah, the government did its best to fix that. they fixed that, and the vaccine rollout started. It started with the old people, people with comorbidities, but what happened? Did people really vaccinate? Do you guys know any old person that vaccinated?
Yes, I do know like old people who vaccinated. I know like a lot of them.
Were they not afraid in any way?
I feel like these old people, most of them with comorbidities, they were not like informed about anything. They just told them that no, you need to take this jab and you'll be fine. So some people didn't even have any worries or they didn't have any doubts regarding them taking the jab. So yeah.
Happiness?
Well, I think, yeah, we were all looking forward to the vaccine until we started hearing stories about them. So
Yeah.
the Christians are telling us it's the mark of the beast. Some that are saying it's a population control measure. Some are saying you're just hearing a lot of scary things. That's why we are pulling back. But yeah, that's all about it.
I remember that whole vibe with it was called the New Order, something that we're in the matrix, someone
New
is
World
trying to
Order.
control us. Yeah, but with I know about Limpopo where the MEC was actually commending old people that they're really getting their vaccines and the rollout is really good. And the 18 to 34 cohort started complaining that when are they finishing so that they can start with us? Now it's here. They're still complaining. Do you really know what we want?
Well, I'm gonna answer for those people because I'm part of them. You know, the thing is, what I grew up knowing or what I have read in the books, a vaccine is something that is supposed to stop you or prevent you from getting something. But this vaccine is not doing anything. You know, you can still get the jab, but you'll get to COVID either way. So what's the point? And by the way, I'm afraid of injections. So why should I take it? Why?
Well, isn't it the COVID part of the Spanish flu family? The pandemic that happened, maybe was it in the 18s or early 19s? There was also a pandemic, a flu pandemic. I think it was called the Spanish flu, and they had to like constantly come up with a vaccine that's gonna work, but most of them didn't work, and they eventually just their bodies just built up their immune to be so strong that nobody got the Spanish flu. But don't you think we can do that with COVID? Like just vaccinate and vaccinate and vaccinate until our bodies are really immune to this new variant? Because there's always a new member in the family every day.
There is, but I'm gonna say I'm not up for trial and error. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not up for trial and error until something happens, something hectic happens, then maybe I can take steps. But for now, me and my people, whoever is supporting this motion, we are not up for trial and error.
Well, the ones that I know, they're afraid because number one, they don't know the side effects. And besides that, I think they're just worried that every one of us reacts differently to certain things. The other fears that I got was there are wild stories going out there. Like they were saying that people die immediately after getting the jab. So those are just the fears that are running around. Kenneth, did you get your vaccine?
Why are you asking me that question?
I have to ask you in the health sector.
Not yet, not yet, not yet. I'm not ready
Why?
to get the vaccine because this sounds weird, but then I'm quite afraid of needles. So that's one of my reasons, yeah, why I haven't taken the vaccine. And the other thing is that I was reading something when I was trying to register online for the vaccination, and they said that you have to understand that this is a trial, and you are agreeing to be part of the trial. So I was like, oh no, boy, you are not ready to be part of this trial. So just relax up until something hectic happens. Like that's when I will then decide that no, I'm going to take this jab. But then for now, I won't say, yeah, I'm not ready. Because like
What's some?
I remember there was a point whereby I tested positive, and I didn't have I was asymptomatic, like no symptoms at all. And that time I just moved into a new place. I don't know people here, so I had to stay in my room for like 14 days alone. That was hectic. I don't wanna lie. That was hectic. I didn't enjoy every moment of you. Yes, I don't wanna lie. That was quite hectic. So yeah, but then I'm not ready
But
to take the job.
you said you're gonna take the jab if something hectic happens. It happened. You got COVID. Isn't it that hectic? What's hectic in your terms?
In my mind I consult myself by saying, but then I'm asymptomatic, I'm not showing any symptoms, and like I if I had symptoms, I was going to be scared and like, let me go and get the jab. But because like I didn't have symptoms, I was fresh and I had no breathing problems. I was like, oh, Kenneth, no man, you are 100% okay. So why do you want to get yourself in something that you don't even understand? If I had like enough information, or I understood everything about it, I was going to take it. But because I simply don't understand everything about this whole thing, then I'm just like relaxed at the moment. I'm not ready to get the job.
Also, it is not advisable that you get your jab if you had COVID. Like I heard that you have to wait 30 days maximum before you can get your COVID vaccination. So if you are there and you had COVID in the past 30 days, maybe it's safe to go vaccinate. You just have to get a medical clearance first. Guys, okay, I had to be at home for like 6 months. So that was before my age mates were supposed to register for their vaccination, so I couldn't get vaccinated. But then now I'm at a health facility. I have to get vaccinated because I'm a weakling. I know my immune system is weak, so I have to really get that. I'll be getting my vaccine and I'll be back with with results from the trial and everything. If I die, guys, buy me
Oh, no.
fries with ice cream.
Yes, I think we need, like Kenneth said, we need more education on COVID and this whole vaccine, because what we're getting is vague theory. You understand? I need to understand, why do they say it's airborne, but they have to go in too deep to test me? You know, I tested twice for COVID, and when I tell you, it was very horrible. So I don't understand, if it's something that can be easily transmitted. Why do we have to go into deep? I just think you can just get a thingy. What's that? A mouth swab, or you can just allow me to sniff it out or something, or just breathe, because that's the reason why we're wearing masks. You understand? Yeah. So I
Yeah,
need
maybe.
more education on it.
Yeah, maybe more
Yeah,
education
we
on
truly
it
need to.
will. Yeah, it will actually be helpful. I mean, they had the Spanish flu, the bird flu, but they didn't really solve it. So now the family is back and we still know nothing about it. So maybe if scientists, microbiologists, virologists take this opportunity to really look, like if they go back to all the pandemics of this family where they come from, maybe the fears will die down and stuff. Because yeah, no, and the 18 to 34 cohort loves being outside, like Kenneth. We love being outside. We love being with people. We hug, we kiss, like we drink from the same bottles, we drink from the same straws. We're really not good with hygiene. But yeah, more education will really take us a very long way. But then again, not everyone is gonna vaccinate. It's just like any other disease. I mean, it's not like any other disease, but it's still like any other disease, because you remember when we were kids, they would take us for polio vaccinations, and not everyone will go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hectic. It's hectic. Just remember to wear your mask, sanitize, wash your hands. If you want to really wash your hands, you must sing happy birthday twice. Happy birthday to you while you're washing your hands. It really helps, guys. If you're forgetful like me, that you have to wash for 20 seconds, just sing happy birthday. Like, it's not gonna be weird in the bathroom. So we all know that we have to wash our hands singing to happy birthday. Yes. Happiness.
Yes, I think the whole vaccine thing wouldn't be as scary if we knew about the side effects. Because now we keep on hearing a lot of scary stuff. We hear that it's the reason for infertility. Um, you'll die after a certain period. So we are not aware of the side effects. If only we knew about the side effects, at least we know what we're signing up for. And there's another scary thing is that apparently you have to sign in, what do you call it, that form that says it's not our responsibility. What do they call it? The word
Indemnity form.
Indemnity form.
Yes, why do we have to do that? I don't understand why do we have to do that if it's really safe. Because normally when we sign such things is that we are taking a risk. So,
Then maybe.
But I
May-
think,
yes.
well, I think in most cases in health, like when you are going to give birth, maybe with cesarean section or something, you need to like sign that indemnity, because you need to remember that medicine is actually a practice. So
Okay.
Yeah.
so like in
Yeah.
most cases you need to sign that indemnity, and a patient like has the right to refuse treatment.
And they
You
also
propose
have
the
to take
treatment to the patient.
responsibility for refusing treatment. They
Yes.
can refuse, but also take responsibility that yes, I refuse treatment, so I'm not holding it against you that if I die, it's not on you. But don't you
So
guys
that
know
the
anyone?
practitioner also cannot be accountable for such matters. If like something comes up, they are not going to be
Yeah,
held accountable. Yes.
yeah. But don't you guys know anyone personally, like really close to you, that has vaccinated?
I know
I
my
do know people.
grandparents. My grandparents actually vaccinated, and I can't believe I was discouraging them. I was telling them, "Hey, you guys, you're gonna die. I still want you to be there on my wedding, and I can't afford this thing." They went along and got the vaccine, and both of them didn't react to it. They are still good, so it's not really bad. But I don't want to be that one. That one. But yeah, I know my grandparents vaccinated. I have a couple of friends that vaccinated. They had no reactions. Well, I had this one friend. I just hope she'll be part of the show sometime and tell us about her experience. It was really bad. She scared me. Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Okay,
like a lot of people who vaccinated. So like I had this other friend of mine who vaccinated, and after getting the vaccine, like that night he couldn't sleep because he was in so much pain. Like he was complaining about headache, he was complaining about like upset stomach, and like it was just bad. He couldn't sleep. But then some people, yes, they did take the vaccine, but they never had any like side effects. They didn't have any funny reactions or experience things such as headaches, upset stomach, and other things. So I think it depends on your immune system. Yeah.
No, but I don't think it even has to do with the immune system, because when I tell you that my grandmother, she's in her 80s, she's a very sickly person. She has underlying chronic issues, your high blood, your diabetes, but she had zero reaction. So haina ruler, haina name of this thing. And Takatsu, sorry, we have a question from the comment section. It's
okay.
Prudence Labukwete. She's saying, in your opinion, after this pandemic comes to a close, however long that may be, what should be the first step we as a global community take so that we are better prepared for the next pandemic?
Number one, we should, if you get flu, take your mask and put it on. That thing we're gonna go to work with sneezing all over the place without washing us, like that was hectic, guys. Like you just wake up with a flu, then get to work, you infect Happiness, you infect Kenneth, then Jiggy the whole center has a flu. I think after this pandemic, if you get sick, stay at home. Go to a doctor, then stay at home until you feel better. Maybe companies can I could say, like, incorporate more leave days, like more sick days. But the problem with that is that we're gonna abuse them because we're gonna come from groove with papalasses and take sick leave. But yeah, now we should really improve on our hygiene. When we stand in a queue, that thing on your neck, it should end. After this pandemic, you still have to like maintain that 1 meter space between us. The thing line really so close to each other. I think that is one of the things that made this pandemic to quickly like spread. Another thing, we should do medical checkups each time we're traveling. Those two people who came from Italy, they ruined our lives. Those two people ruined our lives. But if only airports had a mandatory medical surveillance thing going on for everybody boarding in, like it doesn't matter that you have a stomach bug. Whenever you're sick, you do not travel. That will take us a very long way, like maintaining our hygiene. But there's just some things, literally the sanitizing things at every corner in your workspace, they should stay there even after the pandemic. We should, but then one thing that should go back to normal, it's just sinus sneezing. Have you ever sneezed like 5 times in a row, or sinus, and then people start looking at you like, are you sick? Yeah, we should. We should, as much as we should stay at home when we're sick, let's normalize sneezing, Yana. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I think we should also like basic health hygiene, guys. Like it's something that like it's a standard thing that we should be practicing as a whole country. Like I don't think like at this age, like someone must come to you and remind you that no, Kenneth, you have to wash your hands after doing whatever that you were doing. Like basic health hygiene is very important. I think like we are very ignorant at some point, but then if we take this like serious, it's going to take us far. Yeah.
Especially in the rurals.
Yes.
Especially in the rurals.
Okay. Yes. With regards to what you're saying, Kenneth, bear in mind, this is not a general show. This is a show, Kabaswa, the youth. You understand? We go out every weekend. We smoke hubbly bubbly. We can share it with anybody, you know? So how do you practice hygiene in that case? When you're drinking, I'm just gonna ask you for that glass caneware. How do we practice it? And what this lady is asking, Kobore, the solutions, how can we prevent such an outbreak next time? Well, in my opinion, I think that we shouldn't be slow to respond, because I think our government specifically took so long to respond to this thing. You know, it was as if they were watching for something horrible to happen. And then when it started happening, then they started panicking and they were pulling drastic measures. It was horrible because level 5 was horrible. It was a drastic measure. So we shouldn't wait until that time.
Well,
yeah, that's true. I think they need to react quick.
I think they waited for so much time, because you remember with Ebola, we all waited for Ebola to break out globally, but it just ended up being an epidemic. So maybe they thought, all this. Do you remember? We were at rest, we were partying. I was on Twitter, and then it was when the COVID thing broke out. People were panicking, like China was really panicking, but we were all just watching, like, yo, kifili mimos. And it continued for like days. They all kifili. The world was just watching. So maybe if we reacted to any disease, like it doesn't matter, not only to the flu family, but to every disease that gives a concern, like quickly close up borders. But again, that's gonna be a difficult thing to implement. Africa is one of the poorest in terms of economy, poorest continents. So if we close up our borders, we're increasing unemployment, we're crippling the economy going further. So it's just gonna be a lot. We're facing with a lot.
This is why we are here. It's to break that whole thing. Africa cannot stand on its own. Africa is rich. You know, we have minerals, we have gold, we have every single thing that we need. You know, what we're lacking is just education, pure education. But we
Yeah.
hope through this platform we are gonna find solutions. So we have a comment here from TC Mabunda. He's saying, be careful of disinformation that you consume online. COVID is real and the world is treading on uncharted territories. I agree. I
I
agree.
agree with
I
that.
actually agree to this. COVID is real. I've also been exposed. I was really sick, but I don't know what I'm waiting for. I know it's horrible. I did use your lingana. I was steaming every single day. I was using lingana. I was using eucalyptus. It was bad. I do believe it's real. It's real. The problem is
It
we
is.
are not getting information about it. We are just getting the do's and the don'ts. We are getting, okay, it's a scientific term for this flu. We are not getting much information. Where is it really coming from? From South Africa, not Italy, some people from Italy, Wara. We're getting rumors or it was manufactured in China. We're not getting
I
enough
think
information. We need educated. We need to be educated. So I think the whole educating thing will prevent us from consuming this information, because if I am empty, I am not comfortable with being empty. I want to be curious, the youth. We are very, very curious,
Very.
especially if you tell us,
And we
don't do
question
something.
everything.
That's when we'll want to do it. Don't tell me not to
Why?
do something.
Why?
Explain to me
Yeah.
what would happen if I do it. So that's it. Yes, this is my Bunda. What do you all have to say?
Well, for me, I love social media, but at the same time, I hate it because people chase cloud with misinformation. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm with Kenneth. Kenneth starts coughing. He starts coughing. The next thing, I'm on my Twitter. I'm like, yo, this COVID, Kenneth, he coughed. He even got admitted. Like, we just tell lies continuously. We just tell lies. And then that creates fear and panic. And then when you're operating from a place of fear, there's really nothing that you can do. You're just gonna to even when we're not aware of it, as like people, like there are really people out there who are trying to educate about this thing, but there are also people who are like the ones that are bringing fear with this, that the government is injecting chips in us. Like, guys, how is this chip gonna check us? Go home affairs. Oh yeah, they don't even have access to your ID now. But don't track a system offline. Like, those are just some of the theories telling the creator panic when it's unnecessary. Maybe like social media is a very powerful platform. It gives people this power, man. I can say anything and people are gonna believe me. Do you understand? So maybe if Lorena, we used social media the right way, like not misinforming people. I loved what the other with the other 18 year to 34 cohorts did when they got vaccinated. Like, they kept updating us every day about their side effects. Oh, my arm is sore, and that was it. Oh, today I woke up feeling better, but my headache. Oh yeah, not that thing. Oh, you're so like it's so bruised. It's big. It's they're not creating pain. Like, maybe Lirna, if we were teaching in a calm manner, like, yeah, this is happening. COVID is real. It's happening, but you can also do this and do that. Do you understand? It's just like for us in the medical world, well, if somebody comes in with an extreme thingy condition, even if you cannot help them, like, you calm them down for it, even if there's not help, you can still do this and it will help. I think if we taught in that way, there wouldn't be such stories, this person died, this person, because I have a full street, because like I know a lot of people who vaccinated and they are all fine. I haven't had one story from the people that I know and from the people that they know and the other people that they know who died from this vaccine. It's always a story from somewhere where you don't even know who's this person, where did they get this. Libana, they don't even have reliable sources. Also, maybe if we designed a little better, like if Kenneth I would just something, sit down and think about it. Don't just act quickly on it and just take it all of it with you. Like, sit down, digest it. Is this even, like, ask yourself questions? Is this even possible? For example, if you're living in South Africa, our systems are always offline. how are they going to track me if their systems are always offline? Does it even make sense? Like, the needle hole is so small. How is this chip even going to get into me? Like, if only we did that, if only we questioned even our so-called influential people, because not everything they say is true. If we also like question them, like, I man, we're not over and you shouldn't be afraid to like, no, this does not make sense. Like, come back and explain this, go back to your steps. It's as much as it's real, guys, it's really manageable. Like, we can, I can say we've even adapted to living with it. No, this happened. I can't steam doing good, but we all ended up doing that, and it worked. It worked. So we should just be careful with what we consume online. Also, we shouldn't like undermine ourselves and our intelligence by just taking whatever. Wherever you sit it, you are smart, you have brains, you can think for yourself. So when you get information that does not make sense to you, it does not make sense. Go back and find what's making sense to you. Then all these fears is just, even if we can't go back to normal, we'll get to some normal nyana. Like, we obviously not getting back the normal that we had. We've been through a lot, guys. We've been through a lot. This COVID did a number on us. Imagine kids were no longer going to school Monday to Friday, of which I was jealous of, because how, guys, we had to go even on Sundays, and then now you just go for 2 days nyana. So let's just not take whatever we find on social media. Even if you find it from a person with that blue tick on their name, question them. Question them. Do not be afraid.
Okay. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What if it makes sense? Like what if it makes sense? I've had conspiracy theories that, well, I'm just gonna say it's conspiracy theories because they haven't been proven, that actually made sense. They were telling me, I'm like, yo, 1 + 1 actually equals 2, you know? While we're still on this one, Mina Basani, I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. She's saying there is so much misconception about COVID-19, and the wide negative spread of different views being shared on social media is also questionable. I do agree, but you know, like, I'm gonna share this interesting conspiracy theory that I had. I had it. So right now, I'm just quoting somebody. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's false. So this is what they're saying. COVID-19, it's just a population control measure. You know, they're saying, well, how do I start it? Well, before COVID-19, I mean, population control, it's a measure that they're going to use it to control this whole global warming thing. And if you think about it, it does make sense. I mean, when we are breathing in and out, we are actually consuming more carbon dioxide, which is ultimately going to affect the global warming, you know? So if you look at all these things that are being controlled, they are carbon dioxide contributors. We have this whole curfew thing, or after a certain hour, then cars are not allowed to move up and down unless you're an essential worker. We have what else? Like, there are a couple of things, you know. I see Mr. Cecil is here. I'm sure he's going to be helping me with this one. Yeah, there are a lot of things. And when you look into them, they're actually working towards reducing carbon dioxide. If you look at all these elements that they have introduced, they're working together to reduce carbon dioxide. And another thing that was mentioned on this theory is that, who's this guy? Is it Bill Gates? Bill Gates is a global warming ambassador, and he's investing so much into this whole COVID vaccination whole thingy. So why? What's in it for him? Does he really care about us so much? Like, why? So some things, we don't know what to take in from the internet and what not to take in if there's nothing legit that is out there. So for us to know what to filter out, and we also have doctors. So I'm just gonna be all over the place because things just keep on popping in my head. There are actually doctors that came, Barbator educator, and they were silenced. There were videos that were out there on YouTube, but suddenly they are not there. Why? Why? You know, so that's another thing that is questionable. That's my say.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because I remember that theory, and when it started, I think the Amazon was on fire. Do you remember that the Amazon was burning?
Yes.
Yeah, the Amazon was on fire, and there were those talks about the global control thing. But then again, it makes sense to that point. It didn't make sense going further because the COVID is not new. It's been around. It's just it was hiding and it came back like, hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm now hot and I'm gonna kill all of you. So to some extent, they do make sense, but they get to somewhere. I remember they were talking about the 5G towers, about how the radiation from the 5G towers is gonna alter our DNA, and then as we went, as time went by, and this thing just started showing its real self, it showed that it's flu. It's from the family of flu, your Spanish flu, your bird flu, your whatever. It was because lady symptoms down, it's your flu symptoms. So I don't really think it was because even now, when the population is so is as you do know, Jorge, there was this one time, I think it was in Brazil, where they recorded 1 million deaths in about a week. So whoever wants to control the population, surely he doesn't want all of us dead. I mean, I'm pretty, I can still make cute babies, so they can kill me too. But then, if they really wanted to control us, it's still happening. Like that theory is still active because now there are floods. There was a hurricane somewhere, I think over the weekend overseas. Like overseas is literally flooding. It's flooding. But then again with this, the prophets from I think is I'm not sure if a divination or something like that, where they shared that the gods are angry, so that's why all of this is happening. So there's just a lot of theories, and they make sense to whoever they were directed to. They make sense to me. They make sense to Cecil. They make sense to everyone. So it's really important that when you get information, you sit down with it, you analyze it, and you take what's useful. You don't just take whatever and you're like, let's buy.
Yeah,
So
that's true because like you need to analyze information. Because I remember one time I was asking this friend of mine, why don't you want to take the vaccination? He reminded me of the story. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the story. You know the company Johnson and Johnson. I can't remember which year exactly, but then it was found that their baby products, they have like a cancer causing agent. Don't you know anything about that story? So
I know about it. Even their other, what was it? Was it their bum serum that had that thing also? Because parents were complaining about it.
Yes, it was investigated and they found out that this products, they have a cancer causing agent. Then my friend was like, you and the vaccination is from Johnson and Johnson. But I'm like, other things are also from Johnson and Johnson. What do you mean? So like when you come across such information, you are no longer sure about certain things. That's why education regarding these matters is very important. Education is very important regarding these matters because like you need to sit down and analyze everything. Don't just take everything that they tell you, or okay, I cannot arotlabantuan or nakomang. Dula fasi uchena kwa hao, and yeah, we too take a deal because like you must understand, or okay, I'm getting myself into this thing. It's more like signing a bargain, a contract for a new job or whatever. You're all excited, whatever that they are telling you there, you are not questioning everything because when you just want a job. So like you must like ask people, or in the near future when you encounter certain things, because they are going to tell you, no, This is a contract that you've signed. So this is your signature. And once you put your signature on that paper, it means that you are bound to whatever that it has to do with that company or medication or whatever. So education is very important. You must be able to question like a lot of things, analyze them, sit down, be strategic about like certain things. Yeah.
There are a few things that I think people don't get, and then we should understand when people don't want to vaccinate, although it puts the rest of us who have vaccinated at risk. For one, the vaccination is not FDA approved. So this means that if you get the vaccine and then you get like sick or you die from it or a family member dies from it, there is no legal grounds for suing any company that provided the vaccine. That's one of the huge things that we are like, what the hell? What's happening? How does this happen? So are you saying that I am taking medication, something that is supposed to make me feel better, and then if it kills me, I cannot come back and have legal grounds to finding payment for that? So people don't get that. People don't research that, and it's a problem. Another thing is, other than it not being FDA approved, the vaccination needs to be taken for the mere fact that when more people do not take it, it puts us at risk, and then it gives the vaccine time to have a variant, if I may say, to mutate. I guess it's built on like it mutates. That's how it becomes a pandemic to begin with. So when more people don't vaccinate, regardless of what the risk might be, because anyway, there's no way of knowing the future risks that are in the vaccine. So when people don't vaccinate, it just puts us at risk, and we will never get to level 1. That is another thing. So it's just crazy, and it has increased unemployment. Like since COVID-19, since lockdown, the unemployment rate has went like way up. I think it increased by 0.6% when under the definition youth unemployment, the extended definition of youth unemployment. It has increased by 0.6%, and then it is currently on 43.6%. So the youth are unemployed because of this, and then the president has put some mechanisms in place whereby it's supposed to help us get jobs, and those things never work because their models don't work. I mean, we're under a lockdown, we are under the 4th industrial revolution, and then the way that you're saying that you're giving us jobs is by still requiring the old forms, whatever forms. What are they called? The forms. We are still required to sign those forms. We're still required to visit those offices. That doesn't work. You have changed the system altogether, and yet you do not provide the way in which we can apply to these things and attain them. We don't even have the skills to begin with. Where do we attain the skills? That is not given to us. The information we cannot access. So, man.
Happiness, you have something to say?
Yeah, I do have something to say. What Cecil said was really profound. I think our government, I don't know if they're training us or they're leading us towards poverty. We're trying to run away from it, but they keep on pushing us back. You see, this whole mechanism, why did I say mechanism? Yeah, but this whole thing, yeah, the grant, 350, they are spoiling us. I think they can use, because they're spending billions, millions and millions of rands just to hand them out every month. And I feel like they can try to use that money, utilize the money, and create opportunities. If the free education, create jobs. We want to grow our businesses, but then we don't get them, and that whole 350 thing, I don't want anybody to get me wrong. Yes, the audience, I myself a social ground money. So I appreciate it because yeah, but then the way they're conditioning our minds, because of it, ba credit 350, but 350, then there's also then tax about trapa. So everybody just remains poor because our taxes are going up. And some here, they're comfortable with just getting 350. I hope nobody gets this in the wrong way. 350, but I'm just saying that they're going about it in the wrong way. Yes, that's all I have to say, Tahato.
They really are. I think there could have been like a better way of releasing the grant money. I mean, already the children are covered. So the kids are not poor. The kids are not poor because they receive their social grants. It's the parents that need the lift. And how are we going to give the parents a lift? We open sectors, we open industries, we create jobs. That is the only way we could, not like giving them 350. 350 does not even buy quite a lot of things. You can't, like, it's crazy. It's side hustle for other people. And Lorna, it's not really helping. I feel like the billions that they borrowed, I could have managed them better. Because like we could have opened up so many industries. There's this, I usually on my Facebook, I'm always fighting with people because they love the saying the youth is lazy. They love saying the youth is not hungry for opportunities. They love saying like, I can say, guys, we're not just sitting, we're not just chilling, we're not just vibing, we're not just out there go groove, not thinking of anything. We are thinking of it. We are applying for funding, but do we get it? No. We are applying for the NSFAS and everything. Are the funds released on time? No. Like, it's like the rich keeps getting richer and the poor just get poorer.
Yeah. 100%.
It's like wanamela Kenneth wa go for fase o ema sisilo watla o horela fase. Like, I want improvement in any way, but there's always so much money. Like, if you listen to your president's speeches, there's always so much money. Like, why are we not using this money better? Why are we not improving like the sectors that are not
whoa. Tahato, no. A lot of money from where? Do you know, this guy, we are indebted right now. And guess who's going to pay for it? It's not those.
We are going to pay for it.
In the parliament. It's us. We are going to suffer from it, you know? So there's a lot of money. It's like taking a loan, maximum loan. I'm sure young professionals. Take a maximum loan, you know you can't afford it. You're just setting yourself up for a disaster. I mean, what's about okay? When you take a loan, go Bahamas, have fun, you know, go on a vacation, come back and commit suicide. And who's gonna pay? My siblings or my family? That's what the government is doing to us. You know, that's what they're doing. We have comments and questions from.
That is true.
So we have Prudence who's asking, do you think the economy will recover from this pandemic? Prudence, no, with a full stop.
No.
Anytime soon. Because also, in as much as the crash was sudden, the recovery is going to be gradual. We can try to contribute towards recovering it, but recover as maybe our great grandchildren. But we are working towards it. That's what Bay Waves is here from. Or we are not just gonna sit because we can't make an immediate change. We are gonna contribute to that gradual change and hope or legacy. The generation that comes after us will take over until we get to a point where we are leveled up. What do you guys think? Do you think the economy will recover from this pandemic?
I honestly think that it might recover only if the government sticks to governance, you know, and doesn't create jobs. They've been saying that we will create jobs, They simply cannot. They just need to give it to the private sector so that jobs can be created there. The government should stick to governing the country, not providing jobs, because clearly they can't. And our government is so fucked up. Excuse my language, but it is so yeah.
No,
To
we
a point
understand.
where
That's the language we use. I'm sorry, guys. Apologies, but that's the language that we are used to as the youth. We're just sorry about the bad language. Pardon us. Yes, continue, Cecil.
yeah, I was saying, our government is so fucked up. They have so many things that are wrong with them. They need to fix themselves first. Like, for instance, ANC has been in power for many years, and it needs to relinquish power at some point. Clearly, it cannot do what is needed. It cannot give South African people what they need. It needs to stick to governing the country and not trying to provide jobs. Because yes,
And are we voting? Are we voting?
Yeah, that's the question also.
We're
Are
not
we
voting.
registering?
For as long as we're
Yeah.
not voting, our grannies are still the one who like, yo, guys, AMC's their first love.
Mandela.
Like, yo, they're so in love with Nelly M. They're so in love with the, for as long as they are the only people voting, we're still gonna have the ruling party as the ruling party. We are the only ones who can change that. Like, if we can convince the youth to start registering and voting, a lot's gonna change, guys. Like, it all lies with us. Gare vote, gare vaccinate, gare. But guys, like,
What do
we are the
want?
only ones who can bring in change.
I
But
think
we
the
do
problem
group, so.
is we don't know who to vote for. I mean, how many options do we have other than the PAC and all those other parties down there? It's ANC, EFF, and DA. In my opinion, you can't go for the EFF because, well, they are too radical. You can't go for the DA, it's too white. ANC, too black and ain't doing shit. So we are really in a phase whereby we don't know what to do or which party to choose. I've been to the local elections that were held a little while back, and wow, like I think there were like less than 40 people when we're electing a councillor, and then maybe 5% of those were like youth, and we are just not active in that area. Unless there is, you guys think there is a way in which we can vote for a right party.
No, I think, Cecil, we need a political party.
Mm.
Because if you look at these political parties, maybe EFF, because you see, Mara, we still can't really relate to them. They don't get us, and we don't get them. We need people of our age who are going to stand up, and we need our country back. We need our continent back. Because you understand?
And it's our constitutional right also to have a political party. Like, you can have a political party, guys. You can have your own political party. It's your constitutional right.
As long as you have the vision, you have the mission, we are coming. You understand? It's like me taking a loan, go to Dubai, go shake what in a yacht, and come back and commit suicide. Kentucky, bagolo ba rona ko parliament ba idirang. They know rona ka bona e chaile, e chaile. Look at them. Their ages, my 65, my 70, my 80. I'm sure the youngest person, wow, 2 or 3, my 30. We're still not connecting to them. How do we
they are very old.
change? And something that you said, Cecil, EFF, radical. I think we do need a radical change. Just that they're trying to make this whole thing about race. We are a united nation. Apartheid. We don't want to go there. I should be able to sit with my white friend here and join a venture. I understand. And I'll keep on disturbing you with questions from the audience so that we can just accommodate everyone. Did you want to say something, Cecil, or I can go ahead?
I was saying that that's the problem right there with the EFF. They are too radical. There is no, because it's a phase whereby we want to know what is politically correct. What do we do from here? I mean, you want the land back, which is the biggest issue I think we have in South Africa. We want the land back, but how do we attain that land? Are you expecting someone who has, attained that land for years, for hundreds of years? It has been in their family for years, and then you want them to give it back just like that? That is not going to work. It's simply not going to work. The EFF needs, in my opinion, the EFF needs to let go of the fact that white people have all this power. We need to end this thing whereby we are giving women positions. You'll excuse me, women. We're giving women positions just merely because they are women is not going to work, the same way that giving land back is not going to work. Equality is an illusion as far as I'm concerned. We need to work with competence. We need to work with who can do what, and can they do it like in their utmost? Can they do it right? If you're getting the land back, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to farm? What are you going to farm? How long is that farming going to take? Have you studied agriculture? Have you done your research in agriculture? What are you going to do? Are you going to become a supplier? Whose supplier are you going to become? We need to ask those questions. We need to, evaluate the situation properly before demanding things. We can't just wake up and demand the land back. Same thing goes with Takhato mentioned NSFAS and getting funding when you guys were talking about funding and all that. NSFAS is a fund for university students, right? But in itself, it still discriminates among other institutions. So if that still happens, if we are still having those minor problems within big institutions, how are we expected to survive as an economy? Like, I really don't get what the plan is here. It's just all confusing.
I get you.
You can move
And
to the next question.
That's something very interesting. It's a very interesting question. Okay, now that we want the land back, what do you want to do with it? Space.
Now I'm going to build myself a mansion, guys. That's what I'm gonna do with the land. I'm gonna build a mansion. It does not. When we say we want the land back, we're not saying we want the land back so that it can make money. No, I want the land back so that I can also have a home. Does that, like, we have so many squatter camps, guys. We have so many squatter camps.
Where is the sustainability in it, Takhato? That's questionable. Where is the sustainability? Right? Then generation, let's just say all of us are able to build mansions. Then what's gonna happen now? What's gonna happen about the generation? They're gonna want the land. I think we need to come up with sustainable measures.
Yes.
If unemployment, we want the land back, let's use it to create employment. We want the land back, let's use it to break poverty. Let's use it to break all of these things that if it's possible.
Yeah.
Demolishing squatter camps is demolishing poverty. Do you agree on that? If Ritusha the squatter camps, we're eliminating poverty. People now get into houses. They now, like, I feel like if you're in, it's very cold today. If I'm in this warm, cozy house, there's a lot that I can achieve because I don't have a worry. So if I'm better, I can do better. Maybe, okay, we all get the land back. Can I 50 hectares of farmer? You get the land, farmer. We now all have food.
You see, that's another problem right there. That is a huge problem. Look at what happens. I stay in the war home, right? So Ko Plaza Ofeta, only Mobarenke Malane, they sell Malane and all that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at what South African people do. Look at the problem that we have. We see it on the lower level. When we will have a big problem if the land was given back. So look at what happens. They all get that spot where they can use to sell whatever they want to sell. And what do? They all sell malana.
One thing, yeah.
That is a problem. You can't sell malana here, sell malana here, sell malana. No, man. I mean, make a car wash there, sell malana here, sell dikilana there, sell whatever there.
Other one go get the potata.
Yes. So our people would get the land back and then all farm. And then now we are lacking in other industries. We don't have lawyers anymore. We don't have doctors anymore because everyone is doing farming. And that is
but
not
the land is not only for farming. Why do people immediately think farming when we are talking about the land?
Exactly. That's
think of it's not that. With the land, but we'll get on that topic some other time. Tonight we're still talking about COVID. Okay, so there's a comment from Mina or Mina. The issue of unemployment has been long-standing. COVID-19 is just making it to be extremely high. I do agree. Then Prudence is saying something in support of what Mina said. Since now youth unemployment has increased, what is your take on how should people, especially the youth, survive to meet the basic needs of daily living? How should they do it?
That's a difficult one. Because it's not like they don't have qualifications. They do have qualifications, but their industries are closing. But it's not like they're having side businesses and whatever. They do have them. They apply for funding. Nothing's happening. There's something up there above all of us. Like there's just something like we are guy when I sit down, you know. So like they just really have ideas, guys. Like if you log onto Facebook, you'll find so many support my business ads. We do try to support them, but let me support like 150 and like it's been long standing. So it all lies with the government, maybe with the companies, maybe with, because no shame guys, we are very educated. I think we are a very educated generation. We have PhD holders, we have master's holders, we have higher certificate holders. Like we do have the skill.
That's okay. Yeah. I think you know, what can they do to change or to mend? For one, if we all have, let me make an example with all four. We all have qualifications. What we need to do is band together. Starting a business is always hard, but what we do need to do is band together with our different skills and then work from there. Vusiti Mekwai will often say that we do not need funding. All we need is a product that works or a service that is doable or serviceable. I don't know. I don't have a right word for it. So what we need to do is band together, guys. Sit down, band together, and then work from there. If I am a lawyer, she's a doctor, she's an accountant, she is that, or he is that, you know, we come together and we provide services for each other. And then we promote each other. We promote each other's businesses. You do not go to your friend who is starting out a business and then you ask them what offer Baselanyana, offer Yamahala, you know, things like that. Business. You're not running a charity, you are running a business. So we need, as the youth, we need to stand up and look at where we are, look at what we have. We need to appreciate what we have and work with it. It is the hand that we have been dealt, and we need to deal with it. We can't keep complaining that we need SASA, we need RDPs, we need, you know, there is a sense of entitlement. We need to grow up and do what works. That is it. Do what works.
I do support what you say. After speaking, I'm giving the mic to Kenneth. So what's this? Takatso overlays something. which is true. I can nagana gore go na le generation e rutegileng go sana le generation ya rena. Guys, we are educated. We are going to school. We are graduates, you understand? But you go to school, get that degree. They told us, oh, you get that degree, then you'll get a job. But the company, do you still remember, guys? Man, the companies that guys, we got our degrees, we are sitting at home. So I think how to win this thing is to stop depending on our skills. It's high time our talents. And right now, that's what's happening. I go to Facebook, people are rising, you know, people are making scones and they're making a lot of money. You posted in TikTok, I just bought my first car, you're like, what? If your idea or your concept is original, trust it's gonna win. So like you can get Takhato, she's a graduate, but sharp sharp. Then that talent can I save them from unemployment and poverty, you know. So I think the youth should start channeling their minds to do things that are not so comfortable, are not so bougie and classy, you know. If it means go to that store and clean fund your business, do that, because for so long we've been depending on the government, send the form funding, and we are not getting anything. So what's gonna help if you're just sitting like this? Nothing. We are gonna starve and we are gonna end up settling for Woma Blessa, prostitution, you name them, you know. It's not gonna help us. So I think we should start channeling our mind to doing things that are not so classy for us to survive, because now it's just a matter of survival of the fittest. You know, I'm not saying do illegal things. No, don't get me wrong. We don't do illegal things. We don't do things that will take your soul out of you. No, if it's your talent, if you can bake, if you can, you know, sew, if you can do something, just try it out. An original concept always win. I said, please quote me. If your concept is original and it fails, come sue me. I'll send you my address now.
And when makeup artist, don't worry, the makeup artist 10 in your area. Nobody does the eyebrows like you do. When who bakes scones, don't worry, bake scones vanilla. You can bake caramel, my love. Like, you know, I feel like there's this thing, everybody's a makeup artist, everybody's a YouTuber. Go start the thing. Nobody can do it like you do. Yeah, we all doing one thing, but nobody can do it like you do. Also, bless and everything. It brings us to that topic, the gender-based violence. Maybe if we think about it, we are more or less likely to be killed by people who spend on us, because the more they spend on us, the more they feel like they own us.
They have power.
So like we give them that power. I bought you that Jesse, so it brings us to I bought you that phone, like your phone and yeah, like it gives them that power. I'm doing this for you, I'm doing that for you, so I own you. And we're like, gender-based violence is another pandemic on its own. It's sad.
It is.
My question is
and it's sad.
My question is, like, you are being abused, ladies. I mean, this one is directed straight at you. My question is, you are being abused by this person. You see them every day, they are ill-treating you, and you're still staying. Why are you staying? Why are you allowing someone to treat you like that? Could it be because you are too afraid to start over?
I'll take on that one. There are a lot of factors. I've never been a victim, just so I make it clear, but I think I understand it. Only just say that I get married to this person and I don't have a trust fund waiting for me. So that whole marriage, it will be in saving from poverty. ke na le shelter, ke na le dijo, ke na le this and that, because I know if I lose all of that, I'm probably going to end up on the streets and I might even get killed. So it's better I think that's the mentality. It's still wrong. Yes, it's still wrong, but I think it's one of the reasons. Sometimes too, you see abusers, they are very manipulative. They'll make you think, or you are the problem. You know, you know, so there are a lot of factors in it. When I used to question it, I think the younger me would say, why don't you just walk out? But you realize some things are very much deep. There's like a strong connection to it. They're running away from poverty. It's just that spiritual hold, so they call it. But at church, they like calling it the soul ties. Yes, that's also an element. They're not even buying you airtime and mere airtime, you know, but because they have that hold, then you can't, you know. Sometimes you just love this person so much, you don't want that, because all the time I report to the police, they'll end up being a jailbait, yada yada. You don't want to see that happen to them, you know. So there are a lot of factors. I hope I've answered you.
Another thing, Cecil, is today, Nalo and I were Rajola, we go get ice cream, Rajola, and it's all nice. You know, the following day we go get food, go spare, we go get food, go wimpy, we do this, it's all nice. Like you keep that, you keep up that appearance for a very long time. Then one day we get into the house, you hit me. Number one, I'm going to start making excuses for you because, guys, you bought me ice cream, he bought me food, he takes me back, he does this.
Love me.
Again. And then, then he comes back, he comes back, I'm sorry, you know, it won't happen again. Then we go back to ice cream, to dates, flowers, you know, that kind of vibe. And then, one raga dimpa. I still have that you who buys me ice cream. I still have that you who treats me like a queen. Do you understand? So sometimes it's even psychological. Even if maybe and I'm a whole dog, to understand, but I'm still there. It's because I still have that that first you who's sweet, who is kind. So I start making excuses for you. I start thinking, something bad is happening in your life, and then you're taking it on me, you know, stuff like that. Another thing is, we have a lot of trauma inside of us when we were still kids. So we didn't know it was trauma. And then as we grow old, it manifests as that trauma. And then you find yourself liking people by long haul. Maybe if your father loved shouting, you find yourself being attracted to people who are shouting because that's the only kind of love that you know and understand and that you've been exposed to. So it goes back to having me time that we talked about in the beginning, so that you can really start focusing on your mentals, finding your childhood traumas, finding your childhood fantasies, and healing your inner child so that you can be a better adult. Do you understand? Also, another thing is maybe if we stopped victim shaming, it's not that hard. It's actually that hard because trust me, nobody does not want to live. Like nobody enjoys the. So if we should deal with it as if we're dealing with a new baby. Like and another thing, I would love men to be like serious with their mentals, because it all boils down to men. And Mutoro is gonna come up with but you know, my father was absent, but you know, my mother did this, but you know, my aunt is doing this, you know, I do not have parents, you understand? So even if we go to mental health talks, you'll find more women than men. If a man comes out and says, I was abused, we're gonna laugh at him. This is real. We laugh at those people. A man recently came out for they were being abused and jokes were flying. And those jokes were coming from men themselves. men also need to do better for themselves, not for anyone. You don't owe, like, Bona, you're not doing a favor to the world by focusing on your mentals. You're not doing a favor to the world by being a kind man, by being a man. A woman is not going to be afraid of being next to. Do you understand? So it's something if we focused more on the mental side health of things for men, we wouldn't have such problems. Yes, happiness.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and if you can check the stats, gender-based violence, they shot up with this pandemic. So I think the biggest contributor, Moriona, it has to be poverty. It has to be unemployment. That is the biggest contributor. That's how we'll look it up. I also have something from the comment section. Prudence, it is recorded for 1,300 new cases of HIV are reported weekly, and especially from the youth. So poverty directed, there's a lot of commas. So poverty directed most ladies to prostitution and bless a life. Oh, no, it's a comment, not a question. Yeah. So
that's true.
This person is saying that poverty is the reason for prostitution and bless a life. There's also a comment from Unknown. It says, oh, sorry. Yes, there's a comment. It's a question. Isn't the land that they want back unoccupied? Yes, that's also what I've learned. Are you saying only those who can? I don't know if I get this person. But Mutoa Butishore, isn't the land that they want back unoccupied? That's what I know in my knowledge. Or my EFF never this thing, taking back the land. There's just that vacant land. Okay, let's take this one back because you're not utilizing it. Now, they're not saying that's not what they were saying. So yes, that's one question from the comment section.
The land is unoccupied. Yes, you're saying?
Oh yes, Negeri, after you're done, please give the mic to Kenneth.
Oh, of course, okay. The land is unoccupied, but it still belongs to someone else, right? They have legal rights to that land. So are you going to infringe on their rights? Are you going to take them regardless of what the Constitution says? That's another thing. Because we do have Black people who have land and it's still vacant. Are you saying that that land must be taken from that person because they haven't used it yet? Because we don't know whether in most cases it's an investment. We are mostly waiting for some development so that they can use that particular land, right? Going back to the gender-based violence thing, there was something you touched on, money, you touched on psychology, and I think I'm missing one more point. I'll just try and go into those 2 points, right? When it comes to money, I maybe you guys will help me understand. But regardless of, look, you go into a marriage, right? Usually with Black people or people who are poor, they go into marriage in community of property, right? So now, maybe this is a bit of advice for anyone who might be going through that. You are in a marriage in community of property with this person who is abusive, this person who is doing all these things, who was once nice, right? Right? Who was once nice. You go into a marriage with this person, now you have half of what that person has. And you're telling me you still can't leave because you're too afraid that you won't have anywhere to stay. I mean,
I'm gonna die. They're gonna kill me. Imagine if I live with half of your possessions. You're gonna, if you are able to abuse me for a phone network. Imagine now the AMG just for you're definitely gonna hunt me down and kill me. That's what we are most afraid of. I think it has gotten to a point where we're not even afraid of the slaps and the kickings and whatnot. We just don't want to die. Do you
I
understand?
get you, but staying in there will kill you. It will kill you. Staying there will kill you. That's
But I
what
think
I
it's
think
just delaying.
women.
It's delaying that whole process. You're
It's
trying
giving
to
me,
buy
yeah.
time. You buy time while you try to find a way out. As already victim, they never come out of these abusive relationship. They just come out after so long, after 10 years. Yeah, I did say it, but because of this, and that. If you check out a lot of stories, people have been planning their departures. You know, it's not something you they're gonna come for you. Look,
Okay,
leave with
Happiness.
us.
So
And another
so
thing, Cecil,
mm,
let's not deal with super adult stuff. Rebaswa, right? None of us here
yeah.
is married. You know,
Mhm.
and it's girls that are not married. Kim Jolong, you know, Kim
Mm.
Jolong. So let's not look at things that we're not relating to at this moment. Let's look into Mujolo or okay, why can I not leave Mujolo? There's not I want a Mujolo in community of property. Sometimes get a jola lona sisil get like it's about okay, when you have a job, unala apartment, so this means I can leave Mukukula Kwarai because we are already crowded as is. And I'm good, you know.
And you also get
I'm not entitled to it. There's no
okay.
mjolo in
So
property.
um, okay. So are you saying okay? Look, I'm not saying that victims are too relaxed. I'm saying that they need to go out and find information. They need to know. Look, uh, Takhato said that one of the reasons that people stay in these relationships whereby they are being abused is because they have a long-standing history whereby they've been traumatized, right? So you staying in there, you're continuing that pattern for the next child of yours. You're exactly creating a psychological pathway for that type of behavior, staying there. What I'm trying to say is, if you're being mistreated, respect yourself enough to walk away, regardless of whether you're going back home where there is nothing. If it's time for you to come back home, come back home. One thing that COVID-19 has taught us is that when a miracle ofela, and it should be okay that you're coming home after such a hectic time. I don't know if that is something that women just generally don't want to do, but I honestly think that you shouldn't stay in an environment whereby you are not properly loved. I don't know, Kenneth, what do you say?
Wait, before Kenneth comes in, I think you're shooting the women, so I need to just chip in there. You know, what's the Cecil? It's very hard to understand a situation if you've never been in it. So if you're not from a poverty-stricken background, you wouldn't understand poverty. You can only imagine it or okay, abasokola, so, but you don't know it, you know. So I think it's very hard to comment on this issue, given that none of us, well, in my information or in my knowledge, none of us have suffered from gender-based violence. So I think one of the shows we could invite people who are once in those kind of situations to tell their stories. You know, it's gonna be very much easy. We are just defending because we're thinking this, and that. It could be something else, you know. So I think it's very much better when we're having a show about gender-based violence, call our Batwabaling ready to share their story, and maybe we'll understand this whole thing better. Thank you.
Well, I wasn't
with the
shooting at them. Sorry. I wasn't shooting at them. I was more like, look, we might have not been through it, but we do have people close to us, very close to us, who have been through it. And then from that, that's where we make our conclusion, right? So, man, for one, poverty shouldn't, in my opinion, shouldn't be a reason not to go back home. You are at our age. I think you have the mental capacity to come up with a plan, right? Because staying in okay, yeah.
Give somebody a plan. Give somebody a plan right now, Cecil. Somebody who's out there listening to this right now, or Aling in a relationship, an abusive relationship. They don't even have a home. They lost both their parents. So give them a plan. You know, this whole show is about helping with solutions. So if you do have that plan, please share it with the people.
Let's
Guys,
just not
with
focus
with
on.
regards
You
to
put me on the
gender-based
spot.
violence, guys, issues are many, ne? And I'm not happy because in most of the time the perpetrators are us men, ne?
Mm-hmm.
But also, have you attended a wedding whereby balayang witch?
Yeah.
That's a
Those old
problem.
grannies will be there. Those old grannies will be there telling the ngwetši gore ngwana rena ge monna o bethile o botša bana for gore o thutše ke wardrobe. Imagine.
What?
I
That
feel
is-
like our great grandparents le bona, they are contributors to this thing because like basadi ba bantši like ba hwela tharing ba no hwa ba homotše ba le one because like they're just like, no, I cannot tell my kids that their father is abusing me and all those things. Again, e dira ko gore motho a hloke backup plan where to fall. O tswile ko high, then you are afraid gore if I go back to my home, I will be a laughing stock mo community. People will look at me gore yo money o buile bogadi di mo paletše. And Dr. Poppy sa la bolela ntho nngwe gore guys, date your equals. I'm not saying your equals ba ka se be harsh on you guys, but you remember the sad story sa this intern doctor in Limpopo who was killed by the boyfriend as a Chotoma internship. Do you know about that story?
Yes, I do know about it.
So I feel like that lady was also, I'm not blaming her. Love is love, but then she was not dating her equal. Waban. And with regards to this gender-based violence again, Kore, if someone tells you that one day I will kill you and I will murder you, you must take that person serious. Because sometimes like you take it light. You're like, no, he's my man. We've been to Mauritius together. We were at Spa having drinks. He won't do such. Take everything that your man is telling you serious. They don't just say it. Analyze. And
That's
also be able to confront your man and say, baby, you've said this and I'm scared. Do it. And you will see where the conversation will, because like now we are living with these perpetrators, like we are working with them in our workplaces. They are our friends, but then all of a sudden we hear, happiness was chopped and all those things, which are not nice. But then also, what are the churches saying? What are the churches preaching? What are our parents teaching us at our homes? Are you guys being silenced? Like, I don't feel like you must be afraid of going back home, because like no matter what you've done in your life, at home they will welcome you.
Kenneth,
Yeah.
sorry, I'll give you the mic. Kenneth, something important about culture. I love my culture so much. I'm petty, you know, but there are certain elements you can't say. Do you think batong kamogela ga botse ka gae? Because ba tlo go botsa gore boela morago a gona ntwe e sa lokishiwego. Ba tlo go botsa le wena Kenneth o tla gae o lla gore mosadi go tele ka di-face ba go botsa gore monna ke nku o llela ka teng. You know, so culture le yona e na le the good side and the bad side of
It's
it.
a contributing factor to this issue.
It
It's
is
a contributing factor to this issue.
factor. Oh, whenever it's because of the very same culture.
Yes.
It's because of
And
that. a o tloga gae rena re sa followang setso a o tloga gae o tsena ka kamoreng go atla basadi ba go nyalwa ba tlo go botsa gore no ka gare ga lenyalo o ya bekezela. So they condition your mind for such abuse. They condition ba go botsa gore gae ga go buiwe. So how do you come back ba shetse ba go boditse gore gae ga go buiwe? So you know it's very hard.
It's very hard on you, like as a human, or hey, that's really high because like and I've made vows or no through thick and thin, waka go fikhela. So it becomes very difficult, but sometimes I believe or you must stand your ground, like have boundaries or no. I'm not going to tolerate abuse. I feel like now we need to raise a generation no longer like or no. I cannot tolerate this. Yes, does it mean or you have to tolerate abuse?
Gane lebitla le ke lang ke la gore go yegeng kwa a ke re lebitla ke la stop guys. Oh, maybe I'm not understanding this. Bare o dule ko bogadi ba go nonotle o tlo boloko le gona go. It's very our culture.
But how many times have we addressed this issue to women? This is no longer an issue that lies with women. It's no longer an issue ya gore nna ke pake di beke ke ye gae. Wa tshwana nna ke paka di beke I go back home. Prudence comes into the same house, the early dealing and she still experiences the same thing. Prudence packs her bags, Happiness comes back into the same house, she experiences the same thing. So this is not an issue that's being addressed to women. I feel like women are getting, I can say maybe this is not a better word, but victim shamed. Like guys, they do think to go back home. They do pack their bags to go back home. Generally, Kenneth today, Kenneth does not beat me. I'm like, okay, it's fine. Kenneth is a good guy. I recommend Kenneth to the next candidate. Kenneth beats up the next person. We're still not solving the problem. We still, I can say, like, so they love saying this thing.
What is the problem?
The problem lies with the men.
Yes.
The problem lies with men. The problem lies with the perpetrator. You guys are friends with the perpetrator. You know very well, Jorge, Kenneth beats up women. You come back, you go to drinks with Kenneth. You do not tell Kenneth anything because Kenneth don't regular the loose draw. Because Kenneth buys you Hennessy. Because Kenneth lets you drive his car. The problem lies with you guys. And the problem with you guys is not even your surroundings. The problem is you guys bottle up your feelings. You bottle them up until you want an outlet. And the first outlet you get, you rely on it as a coping mechanism. Do you understand? Like, it's not like to go back home. It's not like it's not like they don't have a plan. They do have a plan. And a lot of them manage to get out of there. It's very much possible, I can date you, and you date the next person. You even like people don't just wake up and be like, I'm gonna get married to this guy. Obviously, that guy has they're the perfect husband, so they eventually get married. But when they get into that marriage, things that's coming up, do you understand? Those things have always been there, but it's just I didn't bring them up, which takes us back to childhood traumas. I date you, but I do not trigger your traumas. Do you understand? I date you, I do not trigger your traumas. That's why we can date but not get to marriage. So you get this girl. There's this saying, you are more likely to, if you're a girl, you're more likely to be attracted to a guy who's like your dad. If you're a guy, you're more likely. What do you think attracts you to that person who's like your dad or who's like your mother? Is the things that she was doing to you. So if your mother was beating you up, you're going to be attracted to that until you come back and heal those things yourself. Do you understand? Like, men need to address the issues first with themselves. What triggers you? What makes you angry? What were your childhood experiences? Which is very much important when you go on a date, to talk about these things, to talk about, it's not like when my boyfriend said, better, I don't get to him like, baby, but you did this. And no, they do. Like, they do this, the people who are getting abused, they are humans with brains, smart people. It's not even poverty. You'd get a rich kid getting abused daily. What's there? Do you understand? It starts with you. And the problem with men, the love buying phase, they do not address these issues. They are besties with rapists. They are besties with women beaters. They are besties with the perpetrators. But are they addressing it? No. But to address that, na ola banchileng ko gae who was beaten up, who's nursing bruises. Yes, I'm gonna go home. But the next one who's gonna come here is not likely to go back home. I feel like gender-based violence should be treated as a new baby. It's not like these people having thought those things they come and where did they take it? It's still a trauma. It's a trauma from their childhood, because somebody, I'm gonna lie at that somebody and go check the thing. It's even if I get it 7 years, I'm gonna remember those things. Like the things that you experience as a child, they manifest when you get old. Like a child's brain, it's not developed until, like, what if one has 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever you put in their brain, it stays there for a very long time. It stays. Whatever, everything that they're gonna get from the outside, they're gonna build it on top of what you first started giving them. So if when Papa when he comes back, trust me, you're gonna go back, you're gonna go to work. You're gonna go to work. And you expect me to get up and cook that for you, because that is how you were conditioned. So this gender-based violence, it goes hand in hand with mental health issues. You cannot address gender-based violence. You cannot address violence without addressing the psychological part of it. It's not even about the money. It's not even about your background. It's a lot of things that are involved there. So maybe if we treated it like a child and we addressed it to the right people, addressing women, right? It's not like women are getting chopped up. It's not like women are getting. I do see, even if I'm not experiencing it, I do see it. I'm also at the risk of getting beaten up. I'm also at the risk of being chopped up. Mara, motho a di dirang ba mo solva ko morago. No, re sa di biring lena. Re sa mmitsa fruit money, o sa tlatsa tafola re namela koloi ya gage.
Yeah.
So it's not about Musadi did this, Musadi did that. Like, let's look, like, they're abusing. You look at the perpetrator, like, what is really wrong with you? Something that we should really implement in our lives as Africans is therapy. Like, we should go to therapy. People I hate talking about my feelings. No, you don't hate talking about your feelings. You just do not know how to talk about your feelings. You do want to talk about them. That's why you drink so much. That's why you beat up, lifting. It's an outlet. That's why you sleep so much. That's why you read so much. Whatever you do, excess of, you using it as an escape because you do not know how to express your feelings. Do you understand? So if maybe we started addressing this violence thing with the perpetrators, like, what's wrong with you? Like, if you get to talk to them, you'll find these people are really kids. They're just children. They're speaking from what happened back. And remember, our DNA, even embedded with memories, we have them. That is why we are able to be generation after generation able to. That's why we become that generation. We've been having those bogogo from all the way. While this violence has been going on, no, you don't say, you appear. It's like, do you understand? It's not women this.
I would like to, what you said was true when you said that we cannot deal with violence without dealing with the psychology of it, right? So what I would like us to look at is it can't just be the psychology of men. It has to also be the psychology of women. Men are also raised by women. In majority of the time, you find that we have more single women raising single mothers than we do have both parents in the picture. We have more of a woman raising a boy child, right? So it can't be that the only issue that we're dealing with, or the only problem that we see, is the man. It has to do with the women as well. They need to also change their psychology. For men, it is true that we live with this victimizers, right? For women, it's also true that you live with these victims, and yet you do not give them, advice. You do not tell them that they need to get out, regardless of how the situation is back home. You can't just stay. What I'm trying to stress is you can't stay in an environment that is so toxic, it might even kill you. You get me? The man might be whoever he is. He might have whatever problems he has, but it is not your duty. It is not your responsibility to make sure that that person gets help. I mean, he would have killed you by then. Get out. Once you're out, talk about it. Women empowerment. Tell them that, you know what, I'll never, ever be in a relationship with a man that beats me up or does whatever. Yeah.
We have those women empowerments every month, guys. And you know
And
what's the irony of this thing? More women are killed during that month. Do you understand? Let's not make it a gender battle. Let's not make it. It's no longer a gender battle. It's literally men who are killing women. It's the women that are dying. So we need to solve the situation with the ones that are still alive, with the men.
I really
a
hope
question,
that,
Happiness?
Yes, I do have a question. Cecil, what Takatso is trying to say, we are confronting the wrong people. We keep on trying to educate victims. The perpetrators. Now, I also read something on Facebook, Barry. Every woman knows a woman that has been raped, but no man seems to know a man that raped. How? These people are your brothers. These people are your friends. There's just absolutely no way. And they come back to you guys and brag about it. This is a very, 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 very touchy topic. It's going to make us angry as women. So you should also handle it with care. There's a question from Basti here. Yes, Cecil, there are most women raising kids, but that brings us back to the point of men. Where are their fathers?
Exactly.
Well, that
where are
I
they?
can't
Where are the
can't
fathers?
answer as to where the fathers are, right? All I'm saying is, look, this is the hand that we've been dealt. Look, I don't mean to be insensitive or anything, right? I'm just saying that this is how things are right now. You can't keep saying, going back to men need to change, men need to do. You need to focus on your own life as an individual, grow yourself. You also have your own traumas, which is why, as a woman, you also have your own traumas, which is why you're following these abusers. Like you said, and then unyaka monna o elong gore unyaka pap every day, because papa go ba nyaka pap every day. So that also speaks towards you as a woman and what you need to change. You need to change your own psychology as well. It's not only about men. Men fuck up, sure. Let them deal with their fuck ups, and we will try to address those fuck ups. But don't don't die in that situation. All I'm saying is, women, don't die in that situation.
So we are human beings. I believe if you're a Christian, you would know that God really said to the first men it said, go procreate, go procreate, like more people, right? So obviously, I'm going to need a companion. I'm going to need a companion. And my companion is going to be you, a man who did what? A man who abused the other woman. Like, literally, the problem lies with men, because it's not the men who are dying. As much as we have single mothers, it's not the single mothers that are dying. But the problem is with men. Bro, the problem is with them. And if we wouldn't have to sit down and tell her, No, we should be sitting around at the table celebrating happy marriages, celebrating happy jolo. We shouldn't. Do you know how many blogs are there where women are crying? Do you know how many blogs are there where yo, my baby daddy left me, my baby daddy left me, my baby, and I cannot run away from not having a baby daddy. I cannot. That's my first nature. As a human being, I want to procreate. As a human being, I want to have sex with a counterpart. And that counterpart is the counterpart that is killing me. I'm like, it's bound to happen that I get attracted to someone. And because we from abusive abusive families, or I'm not saying it's only the abusive parts, that if your father was treating your mother like a queen, you're definitely going to want a man who's going to treat you like a queen. You're definitely going to want a whatever you want princess kind of a man. Also, if Papa na abuse mama, you're more likely to follow in that pattern because it's the only love that you know. Which brings me back, we should all go back to fixing our childhood traumas. But the problem, the majority of the problem, because there are more women in therapy than there are men in therapy. You'd find a lot of women in talks, not even women talks, like in talks. You'll find more women than men, because a man will go, but I'm not going to sit down and listen to someone tell me how I should feel. The problem is legit with men. But the single mothers, they're raising me. They are there. The first point is they are present. That's the first point. And now you have to be present. No, this is a part of me and a part of you. Right now, you should be as much as present as I am. So really, the problem lies with men, because every woman knows a woman who has been raped, but no man knows a rapist. Mara wena go tloga mo or text your rapist friend, go tloga mo or text your abusive fruit money le di biring, and it's all forgotten. Men are afraid of confronting themselves. Men are afraid of getting into spaces where they're going to confront them. Men are afraid of showing vulnerability because men are never present. So obviously, how to be vulnerable, how to talk about your feelings. Do you understand where the problem is?
But
where the root is? The root is men are not there.
I get you, but at the same time, look, I get you, but at the same time, that's not true. Like, some of us have been raised without fathers, and we are turning out all right.
0.5% of you are turning all right.
Yeah,
No,
I don't think that's true, because if you understand, or if I'm being a good man to my woman, I'm not doing anyone a favor. It's just me wanting to be good to this woman, to treat her like my queen. That's the thing.
Like, don't speak from a place of privilege. You're gonna say, Mara, some of us are doing, Mara, some of us. No, what is the majority dealing with? The majority dealing with are dealing with abusive people, bro. Do you know August, September? How many posts of missing, killed do you see Iling Basadi? How many on your Facebook? If you do not have that, or you don't have anyone on your Facebook, because legit, it's like the problem is with men. Problem with men is they're not there. Before to blame us single mothers for not raising kids right, we have to start looking, why are they single mothers? Why is the man not there? Anyways, we are left with 5 minutes to close the show.
Oh man.
This is very sensitive, guys.
Before we close, I would just like to say, I'm not bashing women, or I am not saying that they are victims and they should, I'm not trying to be insensitive. What I'm trying to do is don't stay. Look at who you are. Love yourself. And then, only then, will you see that you don't deserve this. You don't need to be there. So don't be there. Regardless of what that person's problems are. You really have to look at yourself, love yourself enough to get out of that relationship. You'll find someone, sure, you want to procreate, sure, you'll find someone else out there. There are a lot of men out there. You procreate with someone, you want to have kids. Go get an insemination if you feel like, relationship things don't work. I mean, there are WhatsApp groups or whatever where people just hook up for the mere effects of sex. what I'm trying to say is, don't stay in an abusive relationship when there's something you can do.
Yeah.
There's
Move from
always
toxic
something you can do.
relationship.
You can't just
If you
stay
see
there
that
and then
this
say the
relationship,
problem is with men. Men are who they are. If they can't talk, if they can't express their feelings, that's up to them. You don't have to. Man, why would you stay with someone who doesn't want to let you into their world? As a man, I wouldn't stay with a woman who I can conversate with, who I can talk to. I can't stay with a woman who, when I get back home, we can't, wash the dishes together. We can't have sex wherever just that wild. If what I'm trying to say is, look at what you want, respect yourself, love yourself. If that nigga ain't doing right by you, leave. There are niggas out there who grew up, who were raised by single mothers and who know what love is, regardless of not having two parents in the picture. And there are also guys who had two parents in the picture and they're still treating their women.
and
Why was Gisselle's mic muted? Okay, I'll just throw in my concluding statement. Yes, I understand we are running out of time. 3 minutes to wrap up. Guys, this thing was very fun. Wish not to close. Catch us again next week, Tuesday at 7 o'clock, right on this page. You can follow the page Strike Mangani, 7 p.m. every Tuesday, or you also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Bold Moves Radio. So to conclude what we were saying, we're talking about COVID. We touched on an element of unemployment. We touched on gender-based violence. So regarding COVID-19, let's try to get the right information. Let's not take in everything that we get on the internet. Take information from trusted sources. And then regarding unemployment, just stop sitting on your talents. Stop sitting on the knowledge that you have. Zama, just keep on zamaring. We know it's not easy. It's not easy. Try. If it fails, try something else until in the end, Ruina. Regarding gender-based violence, let's heal. Let's all heal. Women, we are expected work on ourselves while men just chill. Men, also work on yourself. Create those platforms. We have a lot of platforms where we are talking about our emotions. We are talking about all these things. We are trying so hard to heal. But what happens after healing? Get a healer, then meet again somebody owning abusive. So it's not really us. We are not the problem. It's the perpetrator. So stop confronting the victims. It's high time we call out the perpetrators and we confront them. They need to do the work, not us. Yes, thank you. Ntahato, you can wrap it up.
All right, guys, it's been nice. It's been nice. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And I just want to tell you that even if you are in an abusive relationship, it's not that you do not love yourself, my dear. You know yourself, you love yourself. Just be patient with yourself. Just be patient until you get a way out. Just know, Hore, we are out there waiting for you to welcome you. Your homes are waiting for you to just come back to them. And we shall meet again next week. Do not forget to send us your questions, whatever you want us to talk about. And, bye.
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 So what? Wait.
Bye. Why did Kenneth disappear? Kenneth has to come back and say bye.
Kenneth,
bye,
come back.
guys.
Bye. He's out. Don't forget, next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m., still on this page. We love you. Good night.
Bold move.
Bold move. Bay waves.
Yeah, this thing is not logging out. I don't know. Let's.
Okay, guys. Thank you so very much. I must say, Tahato, you've been driving this vehicle very good. I'm really impressed. Thank you so very much, guys. You interacted so very well. You touched quite a lot of good topics, and it was good for a launch. And thank you so very much. And just a little bit, Cecil, you must mind your language, man. That's very, very much important. You must circumcise your mouth. Your mouth is very difficult. So you must just circumcise it because you can make your point very decently. So very much important. And again, guys, I'm so impressed, I must say. even how you engage. If you check today, you have touched quite a lot of different topics, even though you touched at the surface. But now you can come in and then zoom in, and then also be able to bring professional psychologists, psychiatrists, doctors, and everybody else to then support you even in your discourse. One thing I love about you is that you are youthful, you are confronting these things. Don't be afraid, talk, speak up your minds, and to whatever direction. The only thing that is very much important is that be decent in your language, because on this platform you will be hosting professionals, you will be hosting pastors, you'll be hosting everybody else, so that you are able to, and your audience is also being able to respect you. You must be youthful like you did. I really, really appreciate you guys. You were so good. I must be honest. And one thing we're proud of you is that you pulled it together. I'm telling you, that's not a small thing. Man, you pulled it together. That was great. I must applaud you all. Brothers, I think you've got something to say as a technical producer there. I'm sitting as an executive producer, and I must be honest, I am impressed. Guys, you are a wonderful team, and keep up the good and the great work. And like we say, you are the youth, you are youthful. Please nail it as much as you can, and make sure that you speak up your minds. And what I love also, more especially with the topic that you're dealing with lately, I love the debate. I love the back and forth thing, because that's what I love. Happiness even say, Cecil, you'll make me angry, and it's good, because these are issues that and stereotypes that we have to deal with, guys. It's real, it's serious, and we have to really zoom in. I think what you got also, even as you are engaging, Cecil, you got exactly what is going on in young ladies' minds. And young ladies, have you seen what is going on in young men's minds? So, in a way, as a team here, you brought out exactly some of the mentalities that are there, some which are toxic, some which are very dangerous. And of course, you cannot go to the Kruger National Park and always teach antelopes how to run faster from the lion. At one stage, you must tell the lion, hey, well, you must not follow up these animals. They must also live. You understand? That is very much important. But I love your engagement. I love your debate. And at the very same time, these are very crucial, sensitive issues that we want to hear young people talk about. And it's very much important that you did that, guys, tonight. And I just want to hear from the technical producer before we release you. Brothers, are you here?
Yeah, yes, I'm here, Pastor Strike. I was saying that I was very impressed with what the team has put together today. The Bay Waves is really a great show. Guys, I'm very proud of what you've put together today. And I think your views represents the many youth of young people. What you spoke about the issues of vaccines. It's what a lot of young people are worried about, are concerned about whether they should vaccinate or whether they should not vaccinate. The issues of violence, domestic violence. I think your views was great program. I love it. I'm looking forward to listening to it next week. I think I like how you guys articulate yourself, and what makes it interesting is that you all have a different opinions, and we would like to have those opinions. You need to differ. Because what you believe in is completely different from what the other person believes it, and I like how you outspoken you are, how you were vocal about those certain issues. But the other thing that I would like to reiterate, and this is what Pastor Strike spoke about, we can articulate ourselves without using a foul language, without using those kind of languages. I think that is very important. Cecil, I think you've made a very valid points tonight. But I think if we could make those valid points without using foul language, would be great. But overall, I am happy. I'm impressed. I think you guys are great, and you guys have a potential. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You are a winning team. Bay Waves is making some waves already. Thank you so very much, and a blessed night to you all. Good.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.